guys, it's Sim, and this is Wrestling Unlimited, as it's Wednesday, and that means tonight was AEW Dynamite. As far as tonight's AEW Dynamite does go, I thought it had really good wrestling, but other than that, I was kind of bored. Nothing, I would say, of note and prevalence really happened on the show. We've got a pay-per-view in 3.5 weeks. 1, 2, and they're building nothing for that show other than MJF and Samoa Joe. And the whole thing is, what they're building there is Samoa Joe wants to protect MJF, and he can't. Other than that, we have nothing for this pay-per-view. I'm going to double-check that. AEW World's End. Other than that one match, we've got nothing, and I get it. Well, we have the finals of the Continental Classic, the CCT. But it's like, don't even get me started on the Continental Classic, because the Continental Classic is a nothing tournament. Great matches. We've had really good matches in this tournament, but why am I supposed to care about becoming the modern day U.S. Triple Crown champion when it is with 3 belts? One we've never even seen before, and 2 other belts that are treated like the 5th rung belts on a promotion. If we think about it, you're getting the Ring of Honor World title, which is below the AEW Championship, the International Championship, the TBS Championship, and sometimes even the FTW Championship. So it's a 4th or 5th important belt in AEW. Then you've got the NJPW Strong Openweight Championship, which is below the IWGP Heavyweight Championship, below the U.S. title, below the Never Openweight title. So it's the 4th title over there as well at best. And then we have this Continental title. Where's that supposed to go? Is that lower than the ROH World title? Is that below the ROH TV title? Like, we're getting really good matches in the Continental Classic. I will say that for sure. But for what? What are they fighting for? I can't grasp this tournament, because it's like, oh man, Rouan and John Moxley put on a freaking banger tonight, when they did. That was my thought. I kind of got mad when the referee let them fight for 30, 40 seconds in the crowd, but that's a whole other story. But it's like, okay, but why are they fighting this hard? To be the modern day United States Triple Crown champion of what? So there's just no more Ring of Honor World Championship? Or is this now the Ring of Honor World Championship? Or is this now the New Japan Strong Open title? Or you're just going to defend all 3 separate? They're going to look, we just calm down. It's not that big of a deal. But the show itself wasn't bad. It was just another show that felt like it really didn't fit in with anything. It was just matches for matches. Hence, the rumors of why QT is leaving. Because he doesn't want to work for somewhere anymore that is just match for match for match. He wants stories. And we've kind of got a story with Samoa Joe and MJF, but it's like, but it feels like they're just stretching this out and biding time. It feels like the Samoa Joe MJF stuff, they are just trying to stall whatever their end game is. I don't know if that's because Adam Cole is the devil and he's hurt and can't be the devil, or if that's something else. But again, this also feels like it's running in circles with no destination. I get the destination is Samoa Joe wants to keep MJF healthy for the pay-per-view match, and then tonight MJF got attacked, but it's like, it still ain't doing it for me. We're back to AEW is just match for match sake, and most matches don't count, don't matter. It's whatever. Like Tony Storm and Sky Blue, that was just a nothing happening match, and Riho's back and wants a title shot. Riho's been gone for what, 6, 7, 8 months? Why should she get a title shot? And I get what you're gonna say. Well, then why should CM Punk get a title shot? He was gone for 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 years. It looks like CM Punk's gonna get a title shot against Seth Rollins. That's a little different because people care. Why are we supposed to care about Riho? At least CM Punk keeps himself feeling like a superstar, a main eventer, a top guy. Or at the tribal chief level, like Jey Uso said today. If you didn't watch the bump or see the clip, go check out our Twitter. Because Jey Uso basically was like, yeah, I'm all for CM Punk coming back to WWE. CM Punk keeps himself a superstar, keeps people talking about him. CM Punk is on the tribal chief level. And Matt Camp was like, oh, he's what? Making Miranda even kind of whatever. And Jay was like, he needs someone to work with first. I'll work with them. So, yeah, that's something. But it's just like Tony Khan is booking things that we, at least in my opinion, and I'm not speaking for everybody because I'm not doing that. But that I've seen a lot of people online say, we don't care about. Why should we care about X, Y, Z? You know what I mean? If you want to just watch a show that's got a bunch of great wrestling, then there you go. We're watching PWG and GCW, where they just bring in random guys at random times and say, go put on a banger. And that's what we're doing. They're just telling guys, you're working this person and you're working this person. You've got a match with him. You've got a match with her. You got a tag match. You got a this match. Blah, blah, blah. Go do the best match you can. They're not telling stories, though. A lot of these matches are not telling stories. And then we're in Montreal, so someone's got to get screwed. That's a thing. I saw that coming a mile away. We're in Montreal, so someone's got to get screwed in the main event. But with that, Fonzie says, how much did that hat cost? I'm trying to remember. $27 at Universal Studios. They also have a green Luigi one. And then they also have trucker-style hats that are Mario-themed, where it has got a outline of Bowser. It's like a neon outline. And then it's got like some Japanese text right here on the bill. And that's black and purple. No, black and pink. And then they have one with the Boo, the ghost, and it's got writing right here, and it's in pink on black. So, yeah. My son got purple Boo. Boo is purple, Bowser is pink. My son got the Boo hat. I got this hat. Not kind of digging the way it looks on me, where it's like, it's like squares off. I like hats that more round to your head, fit to the shape of your head. Like this one just fits to the shape of my head better. I like the way this one feels and stuff, but I don't know if I like the way when I'm looking straight on that it kind of just, it's like a billboard on my head. It feels like, I don't know, but got a lot to talk about. I want to say thank you for joining me here. Twitch.tv/PWU Unlimited, YouTube.com/Pro Wrestling Unlimited, and podcast services all around the globe like Stitcher, Spotify, Google Pod, Apple Pod, Anchor, iHeartRadio, and so much more. Remember, if you are watching live on Twitch, you can help us out a couple of different ways. You can either help us out by hitting that donate button down below or by donating Twitch bits in the live chat. Also, remember, you can subscribe with a tiered subscription or Amazon Prime, because remember, if you have Amazon Prime, then you have Prime Gaming. Prime Gaming gives you a lot of cool things like free stuff for games, free games, and you get one free subscription to any Twitch channel you want to subscribe to throughout the month. I greatly appreciate it if you did right here. Pro Wrestling Unlimited. Fonzie, no Wario or Waluigi stuff. All the merch is Mario, Luigi, Peach, Yoshi, and Toad. A little bit of Bowser. Not a lot of, no, they do have a Bowser shirt. So it's Mario, Luigi, Yoshi, Peach, Toad, Bowser. That's all what the merch is themed around right now at Super Nintendo World. And then if you go to Japan, they're building the whole Donkey Kong section. So I assume they're getting Donkey Kong merch. And hopefully that Donkey Kong merch comes to America and California as well. When's Luke coming back? Probably next Monday. I'm going to try and get him for the wrap-up Friday morning, but we'll see. Remember to head over to YouTube, hit that join button, hit that subscribe button. First off, hit the subscribe button so you know when a new video gets posted, you know when we go live. But also hit that join button to become a channel member. That way you can support the channel. And then also head over to the Epic Game Store. Over to the Epic Game Store and buy something. Whether you're buying a new game, whether you're buying an old game, whether you're getting bucks for Rocket League, Fortnite, or Fall Guys, use this code right here, PW Unlimited at checkout, and you will be supporting us at no extra cost. Fortnite just dropped their new season last week or earlier this week, so you might need to get that new Battle Pass. Use code PWUNLIMITED for all Epic Games and Epic Game Store purchases. Tomorrow, the Lego stuff drops in Fortnite. That looks so cool. We're going to be playing and streaming that during the day. As soon as that drops, I don't know what time. We're going to figure all that out. So we're going to be playing that. We got festival mode. We got Rocket Racing coming to Fortnite. So many things coming to Fortnite. And you're going to want to use this code PWUNLIMITED at checkout. Speaking of Fortnite, I will be live immediately following this stream talking or playing Fortnite at twitch.tv/TimmyBuddy. Also remember to head over to the Epic Games Store and claim those free games. You got 2 free games right now that are about to expire for free. We've got the Mighty Fight Federation. And we also have Jiu-Jitsu Squad. Remember, when claiming either of those games, put in the code. I'm doing it right now. PWUNLIMITED at checkout. And even the free games helps us out. Why is it not letting me do it? Even with the free games, it helps us out. Go over there, claim those games. Even if you don't play them, claim them. They go into your storage or your bin, whatever you want to call it. And then you have them in case you ever want to try and play them. I know Mighty Fight Federation is like a Smash Bros. With just a bunch of different video game characters. They got like Yooka-Laylee, Toe Jam and Earl, and a bunch of others. So that's really, really cool. But as far as everything else does go, we've got AEW Dynamite to talk about. The show did open up, try not to burp, with Jon Moxley and Roosh in a Continental Classic Gold League match. Man, this match was good. This match, as the kids say, humped. Humpity hump, hump, humped. Dynamite comes on the air. Excalibur welcomes us to the show, along with Tony Schiavone and Taz, and we get a recap of the Continental Classic rules and standings before our opening match. And let me turn my fan on. It's getting a little warm in here. Give me 2 seconds. All right, we're back. As far as this match does go, both men wasted no time throwing chops before Moxley was dropped on his head with an overhead belly-to-belly suplex. They go to the floor, both spilled into the crowd, and Moxley's chest was beat red at this point. Referee was very, 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 very lenient with his count, to the point where he just stopped when he realized they weren't coming back before 10 or 20 or 30. They were out there for like 35, maybe-ish. And it's like, okay, I'm all for the ref being lenient, where it's like, I'm at 9. Hey, don't make me get to 10. Get back in the ring. Come on, I don't want to say it. But when you're out there for 30 seconds, so far away from the ring that like you can barely see the ring because you got so many people between you and the ring, that's just a little much. Fonzie says Donkey Kong Land is coming to Universal Florida in 2025. Well, Universal Florida first needs to open their regular Super Nintendo World. And I don't know if that's going to happen before 2025. Back to this match. Where was I? My notes froze. Refresh those really fast. Roosh smacked Moxley in the face with the fan's drink before going back to the ring. Remember when MJF got in trouble? No, MJF threw the drink in the fan's face. That's a different one, I think. That was different. Roosh is healing himself up, it felt like. Roosh connected with a boot, and then he posed. Moxley then flipped him off to respond. We're back in the ring with a snap power slam that put Roosh in control. He played around a little too long trying to mess with the crowd, and Moxley fired up at the cutter. Moxley got a near fall off of a superplex, as both threw forearms as they run onto the apron, where Moxley blocked an overhead belly to belly, only to suffer one on the floor against the barricade. After Roosh controlled the entire commercial break that I didn't see, but they told us, because they're like, Roosh did this, and this during the break. And I'm like, okay. They're like, as you saw. And I'm like, nope, not if you're watching on the TBS app. We did not see. Moxley answered with a DDT to regain control briefly, but was struck by a Roosh piledriver for a 2. Roosh returned the favor from earlier, hitting a superplex off the top, but Moxley escaped a DDT. He sent Roosh to the floor and connected on a tope. Both men barely beat the count, which led to another intense strike exchange, with Mox ultimately taking Rush's head off and hitting him with to cut off a bull's horn. Is it bull's horn or bull's horns? Because I heard it said both ways. Once plural horns, or just horn, I don't know. Moxley didn't hit a Death Rider, but Rush did kick out. Moxley slapped on a rear naked choke, and Rush eventually passed out. Rush woke up and was furious because he did not tap, but the ref called it anyways because he passed out. So it's another one of those things. AEW doesn't like to beat people, but when they have to beat people, they try to be cute with it and do it in a way where it's like, we beat you, but we really didn't beat you. Like in the main event, Copeland got beat, but he really didn't get beat because he got hit with the title by Nick Wayne's mom. So it's like they try to be cute a little too often in AEW, where it's like, hey, you got beat, but you really didn't get beat. You got choked out, but you never tapped. You didn't actually give up. So, it's whatever. Video package for the upcoming Jay White, Jay Lethal match. Jay White talked about how, he's got to make a comeback now, and that him and Jay Lethal actually have history from years ago in ROH when Jay Lethal was one of the top guys in pro wrestling, where it's like, yeah, I don't know about that one. Jay Lethal at one point was the man in Ring of Honor, but I wouldn't say he was the top guy in pro wrestling, because I would still say that a lot of fans probably didn't know who he was. They also said if Jay Lethal loses, he's mathematically eliminated from the tournament. Let me get something that I've been waiting for. Halfway. We didn't fully get everything here that we needed, but we got it halfway. So Renee Paquette announces outcoming Roderick Strong and the Kingdom. Strong said it's obvious tonight that MJF will stab his best friend by proxy, Samoa. Like, this is just getting dumb. He comes out and he goes, Renee! And I'm like, oh my God, yelling. Why are you yelling? And he's like, MJF, it's obvious he's going to stab my best friend by proxy, Samoa. Joe, in the back. Like, I'm a huge Roderick Strong fan. Loved him in ROH. Loved him in AEW or NXT. Loved him when he first came to AEW. Now he's just annoying as fuck. And I get it, he's supposed to be annoying, but not in an annoying way of, I get the joke. Annoying way of, get off my screen. Strong called her lazy and said he's in the wheelchair because of decisions he's made. Because he, Piquet says, is Max, are you assuming Max isn't the devil or is the devil and stuff? Strong then got up from the wheelchair and said he'll no longer be held back. And he threw the wheelchair off the stage. And I said, praise the Lord, hallelujah, no more wheelchair. But he never took the neck brace off. Take the goddamn neck brace off. You don't need that either. So he threw the wheelchair off the ramp, so I don't need that anymore. It's holding me back. And it's been holding me back for way too long. Taven and Bennett celebrated his resurrection. And they played it up like this was a miracle. So yeah. Fonzie, I know what you're talking about, but I think Sean's comments on his podcast today when he mentioned that were slightly taken out of context. Because there was the reason I didn't report on that or anything is because there's so much not known with that. So Sean Ross Sapp basically said, Sean Ross Sapp was asked about Britt Baker complaining on Twitter. And then Sean Ross Sapp was like, well, we may see less of that going forward because Danielson's going to find them if they do. And it's like, well, he didn't really give any context on what that meant. So does that mean you can't talk bad about the company on Twitter or you're going to be fined? Does that mean you can't say things just not in favor of AEW? I don't know. That's why I didn't aggregate it or anything or report it, because it was kind of a vague thing that he just threw out there and said. But then Danielson played it up because someone goes, you notice we haven't seen Saraya arguing with anybody on social media recently. And then Danielson just quote tweeted that random fan with a GIF with just a bunch of photos of himself looking mean. So, I mean, maybe he was saying, yeah, I told Saraya to knock it off. So we go to the back, and Renee Paquette was standing outside MJF's locker room waiting to get a word on his upcoming tag match when Hangman Adam Page walked into the shot. Paquette asked how he was feeling since this is the first time we've seen him since the Texas Death Match. Page says that he's felt better. Brought up the lengths Swerve Strickland went to with his feud, recognized that he lost, but he's like, I also took something from Swerve as well that he'll never get back. Didn't tell us what that was. He said their feud, though, is not over. And he realizes what Strickland wants the most. And he'll make sure Strickland never gets it. MJF then walks out. I was like, what's up, Seabiscuit? Saying it was impressive watching a match where both men saw how many STDs they can get. Page says that he didn't have 30 minutes to have MJF talk to him. And MJF said the reason he talks for 30 minutes is to wake up the crowd after Page puts them to sleep. I'm not a big fan of these inconsistent MJFs. One week he's heel, gonna talk shit about everybody MJF. Then the next week, like last week, he's a corporate babyface. I'm gonna praise everything and everybody. And now he's back to shitty MJF. Like I don't like the inconsistencies here in the character. MJF says he does and brings up verbally bending Page. Asked if that's what he does. He said, yeah, remember last time we were together when I verbally bent you over in front of Bret Hart at Double or Nothing a few years ago? MJF brought up beating Page for the Dynamite Diamond ring. As Page said, he consoled himself by becoming AEW champion. MJF said it was only a 6-month reign, while Max's has been for over a year. Page said when he's 70 years old, Max can tell his 9th cat about this 1-year reign. MJF accused Page of maybe being the devil, and Page was caught off guard, denying it, telling MJF to be honest and admit he's the one behind the mask. Samoa Joe then showed up and stepped in between the two, making sure MJF stayed healthy. So, he's like, oh, I don't want you guys fighting. Hangman, back it up. I thought this is a very fun exchange back and forth. Is this building another challenger for Hangman? I mean, not Hangman, MJF? I don't know, and I hope not. We got like 5 people that want to go after MJF. So let's get that first. Like, I don't know, Wardlow. We're never going to get that one, it seems like. Then we have another Gold League match in the Continental Classic. It's Swerve Strickland versus Mark Briscoe. Another one where they had to make the loser still feel strong in the end. Because Briscoe over-rotated his own roll-up too much and got himself pinned. So it's not even that Swerve did enough to take out, knock out, and get the 3 on Briscoe. It was that Briscoe messed up himself. Again, what the hell are we doing here? You're getting too cute for your own god dang good. So for being a win or get eliminated match for Briscoe, I'm surprised the match started with some groundwork slow. They traded headlocks. Taz brought up that it is more strategic of both men to do this, as Briscoe was the first to fire off some chops, and then they go, hey, that's how Rouan and Moxley started earlier. Tony Schiavone said that there are guys in WCW that love to play spoiler, and Taz corrected him and goes, we're in AEW. And I'm like, oh my God. Don't tell me Schiavone's turning into GD Jim Ross. Because Jim Ross called Kenny Omega once the WWE champion. Strickland turned the tables on Briscoe and connected on an uppercut to the back off the second rope, delayed neckbreaker from Strickland, and netted a 2 count. Briscoe reversed a whip and hit a diving drop kick through the ropes to the floor. Both went to the apron, where strikes were traded until Strickland sent Briscoe into the front row. While standing on the barricade, Strickland hit a superplex, kind of. They were like on the barricade, and then Strickland suplex off the barricade, Mark Briscoe to the floor, and you heard that thud. You just heard a boo. It was all Strickland during the break, they told us, because again, on the TBS app, I didn't see the break. Briscoe escaped an arm bar with some redneck kung fu. Briscoe started to run with a charging boot in the corner, followed up by a fisherman's buster for a 2. Strickland fought back with a beautiful step over gut wrench German suplex, rolling flatliner, and a buzzsaw kick for a close near fall. Briscoe cut off Strickland in the ropes, sending him to the floor, where a dive did follow. Briscoe hit a home run lariat, but Strickland kicked out. Strickland then rolled through a J driller into a house call, but Briscoe got his knees up on a 450 splash attempt, nearly getting a roll-up pin. There's a rolling DVD from Briscoe, and then a froggy bow, but Strickland got his knees up. With a 5-minute call, both men went to the apron. Strickland then fought off of a J driller into a DVD. Strickland connected with a swerve stomp inside the ring to get the victory, eliminating Briscoe. So there we go. Also, I think I'm wrong. I think the extra roll through, that was in the Jay Lethal match later. I think so. I think I got those two mixed up. Yeah, Lethal went for the pin. White got the high stack after Lethal rolled through too much. There you go. I got those two mixed up. Those two finishes. See how much these matches don't even matter? I got the finishes of both mixed up. Renee Paquette, she's backstage with Mariah May and asked about her meeting with Tony Khan last week. She asked how it went. And Mariah was like, it went well. He's a fan of my time in Stardom. She's always got to tell us for some reason. She was in Stardom. I was in Stardom in Japan. It's like, is that big of a deal? I mean, Stardom's a great company. They put on great matches and shows. But it's like, I can probably guarantee 70 to 75% of the AEW audience doesn't know what Stardom is. I can say with confidence, probably only 30% really know what Stardom is. Maybe others have heard of it, but never seen it. I bet you in that 30%, most of that 30% that knows what Stardom is, has only ever watched maybe 1 or 2 Stardom matches. I know I don't watch much Stardom. I'll catch it here and there, but I don't go out of my way to watch it. So she says that she's bringing so much needed glamour to AEW, saying that her in-ring debut is coming, but it's not tonight, and it's none of Paquette's business who she's going to face, because tonight is all about timeless Tony Storm. And then Renee goes, oh, okay, well, good luck on tonight then. So then we were supposed to get Samoa Joe and MJF against 2 of the Devil's henchmen. Samoa Joe makes his way out to the ring, and then it feels like the Elimination Chamber, and the time has expired, and the lights are figuring out who's coming out next, because it just goes with all the lights like flickering on and like flashing on and off like they do in the Elimination Chamber. And then all of a sudden the Devil's henchmen are surrounding the ring. And so we're like, oh my God, MJF needs to come out here to help Joe. And then the lights go out again. This time all the folks were gone. The Devil appears on the screen, and then it cuts to MJF backstage, laid out unconscious in the garage. Dauber said that they need to take a look at this, which, yeah, duh. He's like, oh my God, what has happened here? We need to take a look at this. Joe then runs to the back, and yeah. Again, why I said it feels like all this Joe, Devil, MJF stuff is just spinning in a circle because they don't know when they can get to wherever they're getting to, which is why I think it's Adam Cole. I think it's Adam Cole because Adam Cole can't reveal himself as the Devil because it's going to be a very weak reveal when a guy that's on crutches says, I'm the Devil. I mean, you can kind of do it, but you're going to hope that if Adam Cole goes, I'm the Devil, MJF immediately is going to want to attack him and fight him. But it's going to be weird. He's over here on crutches trying to be all, oh, I'm the Devil. I've been masterminding all of this, So, I don't know. Eric, it's Roderick, not Roger. His name is not Roger Strong. It's Roderick Strong. John Moxley's backstage said that he's expected to be 3-0 at this point and to win the Continental Classic because, bitch, he's the ace of the world. It's the way he said it. He's like, and I'm expected to win the Continental Classic because, bitch, I'm the ace of the world. Is he setting up a match with Tanahashi? The ace of New Japan against the ace of the world? I mean, at least that's a good prize if you win the tournament. You get Tanahashi, maybe a Wrestle Kingdom or something. Swerve then walks in with Prince Nana and said he's not the only one that's gone undefeated so far, saying that he'll do whatever it takes to win. Moxley said that's good. He's the same way. And they'll see each other in Texas next week at Winter is Coming. Yes, we are getting the Winter is Coming show next week. I feel like this is the first Winter is Coming that doesn't matter. Every winner is coming in the past so far that I can remember has had a big world title match. You come off of Full Gear, the winner of a big tournament that meant something gets a title shot. Even last year when it was Ricky Starks, it at least felt important-ish. No, granted, no one thought Ricky was going to beat MJF, but it still made it feel like, oh, winner is coming is important. Winner is coming has been important because winner is coming has always given us a big world title match. And we're not getting that this time. We're not getting that this year, which is a little bit of a letdown because that's what they've conditioned us to think. Winner is coming is headlined by an AEW world title match. And let me see, has it been every year headlined by a big world title match? I'm going to look back right here. Let's see. Winter is Coming 2022. MJF and Ricky Starks. Winter is Coming 2021. Hangman and Bryan Danielson. That was the 1 hour draw. 2020, Moxley and Omega. And that was the first one. So yes, every winner is coming has had a big world title match on it, except for this year. So a little bit of a letdown. Little bit of a letdown. And technically, the Danielson Hangman match didn't main event. The main event was MJF and Dante Martin. But the match did go an hour draw. It opened the show. But yeah, the first winner is coming that's not going to have a big world title match. I'm a little disappointed. So then we got Turner Classic Movies host Ben Mankiewicz. Never heard of the guy. No clue who he is. I don't know. Sorry. He's in the TCM studios saying every generation a performer comes along that redefines what it means to be human. I'm like, oh, they couldn't even get this guy at the actual show. To some, it could be Garbo, Brando, or Groucho. But could also be Tony Storm. Every slam or pile driver paints a picture. And he lists off the silent films that Storm has starred in before saying, chin up, chest out, and watch for the shoe. He then introduces the AEW Women's World Champion, Tony Storm. So, like, this was kind of cool, whatever, but I don't know who the guy is, so it didn't mean anything to me. Also, yeah, why wasn't this just RJ City? Just let RJ City do this. Also, is RJ City full-time? If he is, give him a graphic. Give him an all-elite graphic. I love me some RJ City. We got Tony Storm versus Sky Blue. I'll say this is one of Sky Blue's best matches, but at the same time, it wasn't all that great of a match. It was just there. It was just a match. It didn't feel like an important title match at all. After an early back and forth sequence into a stalemate, Storm charged and decked Blue with a forearm until Blue answered with a tilt-a-whirl head scissors. Storm went to the outside to regroup and was cut off with a dive by Blue. Luther then placed Storm on his shoulders and hit an assisted suplex off the apron as the camera went black and white as Storm posed. Like, what? How is this not a DQ? Or kicking Luther out for getting involved? Blue then was set up against the barricade, so Storm connected with Sweet Chic music. That took us to a commercial break. Storm, after the break, wound up for a right hand, but Blue ducked and hit a drop kick and a step-up knee into the ropes. There's a spinning kick to the head that led to a crossbody off the top for a near fall. Storm avoided a skyfall and hit a release German suplex, sending Blue into the corner. Blue avoided a hip attack and hit a Sweet Cheek music of her own. With a charging boot to follow, there was a code Blue that connected for another close near fall. Storm then cut off Blue in the corner and hit a superplex, with Storm posing for the camera. She then hit a Sweet Cheek music. Blue briefly got a flash roll up only for Storm to counter and pin her herself. So there we go. Not a bad match, but it didn't feel like a championship match. It didn't feel any importance of the titles on the line. It just felt like if either woman wins, either woman wins. If either woman loses, either woman loses. And whatever. There was no gravitas, no importance of the title is on the line. At least that's not how it came off. But then Storm celebrated until, well, Riho returned to a big ovation from the crowd. Riho pointed to the woman's title before drop kicking Storm to the floor. She teased a dive, but Luther made the save, with Storm repeatedly saying, "How dare you? How dare you?" Riho then patted the woman's title and left it in the ring. Cool, couldn't care less. Excalibur ran down the next 4 events we're getting in Canada in 2024, with shows on April 10th in Winnipeg, May 8th in Edmonton, May 11th in Vancouver, and July 10th in Calgary. Tickets go on sale December 15th for all of those shows. Again, this is how you announce upcoming shows and tickets. You just do it randomly in a 30 to 40 to 50, 60 second spot on your show. You don't need to hype it up as a big announcement. Finally, someone's figuring it out. Video package then highlights the long 40-year-plus history of Christian Cage and Adam Copeland, as they will be main eventing this show tonight. So then we got a Switchblade Jay White against Jay Lethal. This is a Gold League match in the Continental Classic. Very back and forth match with both men not trying to really be heels, but kind of do heelish things. But then I felt like Jay Lethal was the babyface. So after firing off some early chops, White traded a hip toss attempt. Try to say that 5 times fast. Hip toss attempt, hip toss attempt, hip toss attempt. Couldn't even get to 3. Try that, guys. Hip toss attempt 3 times fast. Hip toss attempt. I already messed it up. Attempt. Oh no, I did say it right. It sounded wrong. Hip toss attempt. 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 Nope. The third one I said his top. Yeah. Nope. Lethal got the upper hand. Did a quick Fargo strut. White then mocked it as well. Both men then took turns escaping firemen's carry positions with an eye rake before White wrenched on both legs before throwing more chops. We got a great series of counters until White snapped off a DDT to take control as we went to a break. Lethal battled back after the break when things turned in, I guess you could say, his favor, with the Lethal combination into a torture rack that hit almost a reverse you can't escape, only to be capped off with a top rope elbow instead of a moonsault. White managed to kick out as Lethal wanted one of the lethal injection, but he fired off some combo kicks instead. White answered with a knee breaker and a suplex into the corner before a brainbuster for a 2. There's a chop exchange that led to both men trying to go for an eye rake, blindly throwing shots until White hit a super sleeper plex. Both men then traded finisher attempts until White chop blocked the legs out of a lethal injection attempt. After attempting a couple of pins, White then got a high stack pin. Like they were rolling through pins. He finally high stacked them, got the pin 1, 2, 3. There we go. So Jay Lethal gets beat again. Jay Lethal mathematically eliminated. Highly doubt that, Liam. Highly doubt that, because it has been reported that all the people under the masks in the black suits now are them. None of them seem like the body type of James Storm. I could almost guarantee it's not James Storm. Why would it be James Storm? That would make no sense. I think it's Adam Cole as the devil, and the people under the masks are Roddy Taven, Bennett, and what if it's Kyle and they brought back Bobby Fish without us knowing? There was a report today by Fightful that Kyle O'Reilly's been backstage and could be cleared soon, if not already. So let me go to this main event. I was going to say, they're in Montreal. They didn't have to do a fucking screw job, but they did. but they did. After a brief stare down early, Copeland slapped Cage and applied on a choke, leaving Cage to scatter to the ropes. There were some Sheamus-like sledgehammer shots to Cage on the apron before Copeland charged and launched Cage into the barricade. Copeland repeatedly smashed Cage into the announce table until back inside the ring. Cage wanted to go for a low blow for the DQ just to end the match, only for Copeland to block it and step on Cage's hand. Back to the floor, Copeland punted Cage in the face against the barricade, posting him to follow it up. Cage finally got in a cheap shot and pulled Copeland's arm to drive him throat first into the steel, tossing Copeland to the front row, heading into a commercial break. Excuse me. Cage then continued his assault during the break. This one we did see the picture-in-picture. It's so random the way they do it. Copeland then tried to mount a comeback, but was floored with a back elbow. Cage wanted corner punches, but Copeland bit at the bad hand and followed this up with a leg sweep from the second rope. Cage then sidestepped a spear through the ropes. He wanted a pendulum kick, but Copeland countered and hit a diving clothesline off the second rope. Cage answered with a drop toe hold into the steps back inside. Cage then hit a frog splash for a 2. Cage wanted a spear, but Copeland countered into an impaler DDT for a 2 of his own. Cage then cut off Copeland in the corner. Copeland wrenched at the bad hand, slid through, and connected on a running Liger bomb for a 2. Copeland avoided a kill switch, not the kill switch wrestler, but the kill switch move, off of an eye poke into an inside cradle for a 2. Cage went for it again, but this time Copeland hit a sit-out slam before applying a crossface. Cage got the rope break, though, as Copeland mounted and repeatedly hammered forearms before signaling for a spear. Cage leapfrogged and hit the kill switch before Copeland kicked out. Cage charged for a spear, but Copeland sidestepped and accidentally ran into the referee in the process. The referee was Bryce Remsburg. Cage then realized what had happened and punted Bryce before getting the TNT title. Cage then charged with the title, but both he and Copeland collided for a double down. This is when, Nick Wayne's mom, Shayna Wayne, walked down to the ring and grabbed the belt. She gave a look at Cage. She gave a look at Copeland. She gave another look at Cage before hitting Copeland. Copeland first tried to duck it, but she decked him. She then just dropped it, looked at Christian, and walked off. Christian then connected with the kill switch, placed Copeland's head under the title, stomping him. Bryce Remsburg then finally recovered long enough to count the match, and there we go. So yeah, that was the finish. Nick Wayne's mom is now on the side of the patriarchy. Cage then stopped the doctors from checking on Copeland as he trash-talked him after the match before the show went off the air. Good match. Shitty finish. But who didn't see it coming? Who didn't see somebody getting screwed because they're in Montreal? As far as the Continental Classic does go, we do have some updates to the points. 9 points for Jon Moxley and Swerve Strickland, 6 points for Switchblade Jay White, 3 points for Roosh, and 0 for Jay White and Mark Briscoe, who have been mathematically eliminated. As far as the Blue League does go, now this is non-spoiler updates because they did tape stuff last night, and later they taped a Danielson Garcia tournament match. But regardless, 6 points for Brody King, 3 points for Claudio Andrade and Danielson, and 0 points for Daniel Garcia and Eddie Kingston. Now, things announced for upcoming shows. Rampage on Friday will see Kenose Takeshita and Powerhouse Hobbs take on Matt Sydal and Christopher Daniels. Abaddon will take on Trish Adora. Orange Cassidy and Danhausen will appear. Bryan Danielson will take on Daniel Garcia in a Continental Classic Blue League match. As far as Collision does go on Saturday, we got Kenny Omega versus Ethan Page. Bryan Danielson will be taking on Andrade El Idolo in a Continental Classic Blue League match. Claudio Castagnoli will take on Eddie Kingston in a Continental Classic Blue League match. And Willow Nightingale will take on Mercedes Martinez. Wardlow will take on Willie Mack. And Penta El Zero Miedo. And Commander will take on Angela Parker and Matt Menard. As far as next week on Dynamite does go, its winner is coming. John Moxley will take on Swerve Strickland in a Continental Classic Gold League match. Switchblade Jay White will take on Mark Briscoe in a Continental Classic Gold League match. Roosh will take on Jay Lethal in a Continental Classic Gold League match. Hangman Page will go one-on-one with Roderick Strong. We'll hear from Samoa Joe. And the Von Erichs will appear and return in Dallas. So there we go. AEW Dynamite tonight from Montreal. So there we go. That was the show. I thought it was a good wrestling show, not a great pro wrestling show, if you know what I mean. Great wrestling, really good matches. But as an overall pro wrestling show, I didn't think it was all that good. I thought it was just okay. So it was here, it was there. They got a pay-per-view coming in 3 weeks, and we know 2 matches. Actually, 1.5, because we don't even know who's in the second match yet. So, yeah. But now let's set the poll up really fast. What did you think of Dynamite? Liked it. It was all right. I didn't like it. All right, so the poll is live on Twitch. We'll go check all the others really quickly. Refresh. Remember, after this stream, immediately I will be, within like 5-10 minutes or so, maybe, 10, I will be live, twitch.tv/TimmyBuddy, playing some Fortnite. As far as the X poll does go, 42% liked the show, 33% thought it was just all right, and 23% didn't like it. Yeah, see, that's what I said. When it's under 50%, that means it was just okay. Or as the YouTube community poll does go, better here. 59% liked the show, 21% thought it was just all right, and 20% didn't like it. Some of the comments here, this person says, only watched for Roderick. Here, End of Heartache playing, the best cheeks in the business with Blue, Storm, and Jay, and Danny Garcia's dance moves. Well, Danny Garcia wasn't even on the show. This person says, product isn't even watchable anymore, which also reflects the low live attendance and terrible ratings across the board. Yeah, they did bad last night. The Tuesday taping for Collision and Ring of Honor, they had like 2,500 people max there. That is not good. The person says, it was okay. As far as the YouTube live poll does go, 61% liked the show, 24% thought it was just all right, and 16% didn't like it. As far as everybody that voted on Twitch, didn't like it. We got 3 people that voted on Twitch, and they didn't like it. Yeah. With that, guys, I want to say thank you for joining me here. Twitch.tv/PWU Unlimited, YouTube.com/Pro Wrestling Unlimited, and podcast services all around the globe like Stitcher, Spotify, Anchor, iHeartRadio, Google Pod, and so much more. Remember, I will be live here shortly. Twitch.tv/TimmyBuddy. We're going to hang out. We're going to play some Fortnite. We're going to grind through this battle pass. Maybe the Lego stuff will drop tonight and after midnight. Who knows? But with that, have a great night. Have a great rest of your week. We'll see you next time. Have a good one, guys.